Hi, and welcome to this episode of AdTastic. I'm your host, Tony Stanall, and today we're talking with Suzanne Darmory, the Vice President of Marketing and Creative at Jackson Hewitt. Welcome, Suzanne.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me, Tony.
Now, I'd like to start with your background, Suzanne. You were a creative director. You worked at agencies in your past.
I did. I actually started as a copywriter in Gray ages ago. Worked my way up through the creative world, New York and London, and then ended up last agency job being executive creative director, and then went client side last year.
And what was your decision for going client side as an executive recruiter in the advertising industry? I hear a lot from my candidates. I'd love to go to the client side, and
Exactly.
I don't really play in that field. But was that, what was your burning desire to do that? Was it a lifelong dream, or tell me what your story is?
It's interesting having gone through so many incredible agencies, learning about what I wanted to learn, which was, starting in digital, then going to branding, customer experience, and then data and optimization. So I felt like I had done the whole journey on the advertising world, and then taking that information and jumping client side and really leveraging what I knew and what I had learned, I think is every creative director's dream, just to be able to take it and leverage it from the other perspective. It also makes me a very dangerous client because I know what agencies are like. So it's fun to be able to collaborate on the other side.
That's right. I suspect that some people want to get on the other side of the desk in order to, wield their power against the agency or something. How do you handle that?
It's really about collaboration and making sure that we have the best story, the best brand out there. So just knowing, how to make that happen, and sort of the magic behind that is really helpful, being on the other side now.
Now, are you ever tempted to step in and write some copy yourself, or correct a headline, or and how does that work?
100%. I actually ended up writing quite a bit this year. So I rolled up my sleeves and wrote some radio spots and wrote some TV spots this year. I try to step away, obviously, and let the teams do everything. But every once in a while, when I just, I'm like, oh, I can see this. So it just sometimes makes it easier. But so yes, I have been also writing a little bit.
Right. Now, there's a big trend towards having in-house agencies in marketing departments. I'm feeling the inception of one with Jackson Hewitt. Is that the case?
Well, I wouldn't say internal agency. I would call it a center of excellence. And yes, I have built it up, obviously, both on the art and copy and delivery side. I think it's really important to be able to hold a brand. I know a lot of, big brands have been doing this for years, like Nike and Google and Apple and Facebook. Obviously, they have their own internal teams because you can control the brand story a little bit tighter. But obviously, having support from external agencies and partnering up with them is critical because no company can do everything in-house, unless maybe Facebook can, but most companies can.
That's true. Well, tell me what's the biggest thing that surprised you about going to the client side compared to, being at an agency?
I don't think there were any big surprises except just being a part of a bigger family. And I think it was more about learning about taxes and tax season. That was a big learning curve for me. That was probably the biggest. But client side, there are definitely, like I said, a lot of creatives want to go. It feels like a more, stable environment in a lot of ways. But it's also great to have one product day in and day out to learn, to live, to breathe. So I think that's really one of the benefits. And it's just, such a joy, particularly at, Jackson Hewitt. It's such a family. So I was very grateful to accept the position. It was my dream job. So I'm so happy to be here.
Well, terrific. Thanks for joining us today. I'm afraid our 5 minutes has whizzed by as announced. So thank you for stopping by, Suzanne.
Tony, thank you again so much.
And thank you for joining us on this episode of AdTastic. To find out more about Suzanne Darmory, just go to dailyadbrief.com and you'll find it there. Join us next time.
Simplify presents Addressable CTV, combining the power of TV with the targeting and attribution of digital. Simplify's Addressable CTV delivers massive reach with the ability to scale without sacrificing precision. TV buyers can generate incremental reach with household-level targeting, frequency controls, reporting, and insights. To learn more about Simplify's Addressable CTV and what it can do for your clients, visit simply.fi.